Hello everyone, this is JelArts and I'm back with another video for you, and this time it is another Copic marker speed paint. And I did something a little bit different this time, where instead of outlining with Copic multiliners, I outlined with a pencil crayon, one of the Prismacolor Verithin ones, and I used that one because it has a harder lead than the Prismacolor Premier, and it'd be better for coloring with markers so that it wouldn't smudge the soft lead. Since it's hard, it wouldn't smudge that badly. And I didn't have too much of a problem with smearing. The end of the lighter colors of markers got a tiny bit stained, but not too badly. And I just wanted to outline it in an actual color that kind of blended for like a softer feel, because I wanted this drawing to be very soft and glowy kind of. So I decided to outline with blue because I wanted to have a blue and yellow kind of theme, as well as purple. And I wanted this drawing to have kind of like a fantasy feeling to it. So that's why I decided to do all the glowing little, I guess they kind of look like fireflies, but they're not, I don't really know what they are. And I did some tall mushrooms in the background, and she's inside of like a cave sort of thing with some bushes in the front. You can't see them now, but you'll see them later. And I had fun coloring her skin with all the different skin tones, and then I added a really light yellow to the highlights of her face, and that actually worked really well to make a kind of glowing effect on her skin, so that the light was actually reflecting off her face and her clothes as well. So that yellow color came in handy. I'm gonna put all the colors that I used in the description, so if you're curious, you can check that out and see what colors I used for this. So I wanted the back of her hair to kind of glow a little bit more than the front, just to kind of help like frame the face sort of, and to give like a more glowing effect around her face, and just to show that there might be some things glowing behind her, because the light is coming from everywhere in the picture, but the main light is from her hand and the flies that are the bugs that are flying off of it, but you'll see that later once it's more colored. I think in total this took me about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, just for the coloring. Like the line art and the drawing probably took an hour and a half as well. So in total, this is probably 3 to 4 hours to do all of this, like 3.5 to 4 hours. And surprisingly, all of the colors just worked really well with the blue. Like I found it very easy to work with, and it kind of made it more enjoyable to lay down the color, because the outline wasn't so dark, and you could color over top of the outline and like blend it in more by softening it up by coloring over it. So I found it very, very interesting and very fun to work with, so I'm probably going to do that more often. And for some reason I found that the skin looked a little more yellow on camera than it did in real life. I've been experimenting with different lighting while I'm filming, and I got a brighter bulb for one of my lamps, so I put that in the lamp, and it seemed to make everything look a little bit better. But right there I changed the exposure. I probably should have left it where it was, but I noticed that I had the exposure set a little higher than usual, but I think it actually looked better, so I probably just should have left the setting on, but I turned it off for some reason because I didn't want it to look overexposed. But when I watched the footage back on my computer, I noticed that it actually looked better when I set the exposure a bit higher, so I'm gonna do that next time. And coloring her eyes, I was really worried that I was gonna mess it up, so I decided to not overwork them, and to just do minimal coloring just to have the effect that I want, and not overdo it, because if I over color with Copics, I just end up messing everything up. So that's what I've been trying to do lately, not like over blend and overwork everything, because that's what makes me mess up, and that's what makes it start to look bad, and I start to lose control of the markers. So I just tried to do minimal coloring, but still enough shading so that there's contrast and everything, because I'm not very good with controlling them yet. Especially since this drawing is smaller, it's easier to control the colors, because if it was a bigger drawing, everything looks more patchy and it's harder to blend on larger surfaces. It's much easier to control smaller artwork than larger artwork for me, so, and plus I don't want to waste too much ink, because I just end up scanning these and I can set the resolution to very high, so the image is nice and big when I scan it. You can't really tell like what the real size is when you scan something, so. And plus my scanner can't fit paper that's larger than, I'm not sure what the size is, but it's not too big. It's like a normal size printer. So yeah, and plus I don't want to waste ink. I've been meaning to get refills for my Copics because I don't want to have to buy a new marker just because I can't find a refill, especially the colorless blender refills in some of my skin tones. I really want to find refills for, but refills are so expensive, but they refill the marker like multiple times, but I don't use them enough to need to refill them that much. Sorry that I'm coloring off camera here. You can't really see what I'm doing. I think I was coloring the, I'm not sure what I was doing. I think I was coloring the bugs, so you'll see them. It might have been her hair as well, I'm not sure. So I wanted to go for a dark background, which I don't think I've ever done in a Copic drawing before. So that was a bit of an experiment, and I actually really enjoyed doing that. I think that it added a nice contrast, and it's quite fun to do backgrounds with Copic markers. I'm going to try to do this more. I don't know if I've ever actually done that before. I haven't experimented too much with Copics. I would usually just do like a character, not like a whole scene, and scenes are like way more fun than just a character. And especially when you outline it in pencil crayon, like I really am really glad I stumbled upon that method. I was watching Bailey J's channel, and I saw that she outlined in like a purple one. I was like, oh, I have to try that. So yeah, and it's very, very fun to work with. So I've seen like a lot of people doing it, so, and I like the method, and I find pencil crayon easier to control than the Copic multiliners. So yeah, I'm really glad that I found that method. It's very enjoyable. I think I've said that a lot now. But if you haven't tried it, I would recommend it. I'm not sure if it works with Crayola. It probably does. Anything with like a hard lead, but you might want to do some tests on like a scrap piece of paper just to see if it will work, because you never know how the Copic marks are going to behave with the pencil crayons, so you want to try that. For some reason the lighting looks different in this scene. I'm not sure why. Probably because I was filming a few hours later. That's probably why it looks different. So yeah, coloring this, I was trying to not make it too patchy, but I don't know, it still kind of looks patchy. And I was really worried I was going to mess something up when I was coloring the dark background, because I didn't want to go over her head and make it look kind of like I colored over top of her hair. But I also wanted to do the lighter color first, because if I went outside the lines with the lighter color, it would have taken away some of the darker color. So it's kind of reverse to what you'd usually do when you do Copic drawings. So yeah, I tried to not make it too patchy, but it still looks patchy. I ended up fixing it in the end, but it kind of looks bad as I'm coloring it, but I fixed it at the end. So I fix a lot of the things with a white gel pen, because it just made everything look better. Like I went over it with the pencil crayon again, and then I went over it with the gel pen. The gel pen really makes everything pop, and it really helps to tie everything together. That's why I love using gel pens. I could just like sit there for hours just outlining everything in the gel pen, but then it would look like you put too much gel pen on it. So a little bit is enough, just enough to hint at a little highlight, and suddenly your drawing looks a lot more alive and vivid. So yeah, I'm just using the Sakura Jelly Roll one. I think that's what it's called. I have a few of those. They're very, very good gel pens. They last pretty long, and it's a pretty small like tip, so it's like a thin line. It's easy to control it. But if you leave them for a while, they might dry out a bit, but you'll just have to try to get them working again. So I hope you enjoyed this video. It's almost come to an end. I'm just going to be going in with pastels and making everything kind of glow around all the yellow parts. I love using pastels as well. Like I just got the Faber-Castell ones, those ones there, and just making everything glow helped tie it all together, so I really enjoyed that. So I hope you enjoyed seeing the process of this. I think it's one of my better Copic drawings I've done in a while, but I haven't done that many Copic drawings recently, so I'm going to continue on. And yeah, I like spreading around the pastel with a brush. That's my favorite method. I think it makes everything look all nice and smooth. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching.